Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Moletrap here, coming at you with another StarCraft commentary. We got game number 3 here of KTF versus MBC Game Hero, and this is from our series of the playoffs of the 2006 Sky Pro League. And look at right there at your screen, ladies and gentlemen. We got some cool names here. Look at this. I'm going to pause it for just a second because this is a 2v2 match, and so I want to make sure we get everything straight. Bisu is going to be the purple Protoss. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Bisu is the 2v2 player in this instance. He has not become the solo mastermind yet. He's going to be playing with Saint. And, well, anyway, we'll figure out the rest of the colors as we get in here, ladies and gentlemen. Bisu and Saint are going to be playing for MBC Game Hero, and we actually have two players that I have barely heard of. Actually, one of them is named Edgy, E-J-I. I don't know how you pronounce E-J-I. I think that's Saint right there, by the way. And that's going to be Bisu. No, Bisu's the purple Protoss. Anyway, we'll figure it out in a minute here. Don't worry. But anyway, Edgy and... I already forgot. Aqua. Edgy and Aqua are the players for KTF, and I really don't know almost anything about them. They were players that never really made too much of a name for themselves as far as I'm aware of. But anyway, it's going to be cool. We got a 2v2 match here, ladies and gentlemen. I apologize ahead of time. 2v2s are always really difficult. So look at this. It's so difficult to keep straight that I'm having trouble even saying the word difficult. It's difficult to keep straight what's going on in a 2v2 match, but we're going to give it a good solid try here, ladies and gentlemen. And there we go. I got some names to put up here. They'll help us out. So we're gonna have the red Protoss and the white Zerg. So the top players versus the bottom players in the map. This is Iron Curtain, by the way. So this is the map where there's the mountain spine of minerals and unpassable terrain going down the middle of the map. And on each side of the left and the right, there's two bases. So that means, if you'll look at close examination, that we actually have two 1v1s here set up, ladies and gentlemen. And we actually have Bisu and Edgy doing a Protoss versus Protoss on the left side of the map. And we're going to have Aqua and Saint doing a ZVZ on the right side of the map. And how is this going to come into play as a team match is, well, probably... almost certainly we're going to see the Zergs go for Mutalisks at a certain point, and then they'll be able to cross over the spine into the other side of the map. But in the meantime, we're going to have a little bit of a cheeky double 1v1 situation. This map, they can spawn on the same side, but I don't think that, like, I don't think there was top versus bottom like settings. Like, you couldn't do that back in the day, could you? I don't remember if you could, actually. I don't know if that's a recent thing. Anyway, either way though, they set it up so that you could spawn wherever on the map, and so that's why we saw each player on both the players kind of go exactly for where the opponent was, because they knew where the spawns are. And we do see Bisu doing some cheeky stuff here with Manor Pylons, by the way. In Edgy's base is going to go and cancel that, but he disrupted some mining time in the meantime, so I think it's probably a good trade. And we see that Edgy doing some cheeky Manor Pylons in Bisu's base as well. I don't know why I'm like really into using the word cheeky lately, but anyway, and then we're gonna have the Aqua versus Saint ZVZ on the other side as well. I'm basically trying to cast two games at once. This is like an achievement challenge or something for a caster to cast two games at the same time somehow. Anyway, yeah, so, but this is probably not going to heat up for a minute or two. Saint and Bisu both, I would say, the more accomplished players, obviously, in their individual tournaments. Saint never really got super far in the tournaments, but he was a solid Pro League player for his team. But it's just so funny to actually go back here. This is, remember, this is early 2006. So Bisu, you know, comes out at the end of 2006 or 7. I forgot when it was that he actually beat Savior in the MSL. But the point being, he's some months away from that sort of solo fame, and so here he is actually as a 2v2 player. It's kind of fun. Kind of funny. But you know, sometimes you do see the top 1v1 players play in the 2v2 teams as well. Reach was a 2v2 player for a while, even though he was a legendary 1v1 player. But usually you put your players who are not the best 1v1 players in the 2v2 team and specialize them there. We do see some links coming here for Aqua, and just do a little bit of harassment. There's not enough really to do much damage there, so he's just going to get chased away. Not being very aggressive here. This could be because it's 2006. Could because it's a 2v2, but we're not seeing like a lot of lings being built up or anything like that by either player. They're both kind of just dancing around with a few Zerglings and not really doing much damage, not really trying to do too much. Oh, is he gonna get a drone? He does get a drone. Trades a link for a drone. That's a very good trade. So nicely done by Aqua there. There's reaching himself actually on the bench there. And oh no, what's going on? Saint is letting one link kill his drones. Looks like no drones went down actually. So that's just a bait, I guess. Just give him some false sense of security and hope, I guess. Evo chamber going down for Aqua and as well. Let's see, what is Saint doing? We have the layers for both players. I'm actually curious about this Evo chamber. It could be that he's thinking like, this is a strange situation. You know, 2v2 is not something I'm super familiar with how it works. So maybe this is like standard play that you get the Evo chamber so you can get some spore colonies to protect your base. So you can send your mutas to the other side of the map so you can play a team game instead of 2 1v1s, I guess is kind of what they're thinking here. But okay, now we're seeing a little bit more Zergling build up here and some sunken colonies. Yeah. So this is, again, this is not, I mean, like I said, it's kind of a ZVZ plus a PvP, but it is actually a team game, and so they are considering the map in this situation. So both players know that if they just go all offense and their opponent goes some defense and then sends to their ally some help, then it'll be a 2v1, and that's not a good situation. Fighting over an overlord here in the middle of the map that's been sent over to Bisu's base. That's actually a lot of Zerglings that Aqua has out now. Should I just, it almost feels like it'd be almost easier for people to realize if I referred to the colors, but I'm gonna go ahead and just hope that the names at the top are going to be pretty good enough to kind of figure out what's going on there. Anyway, yeah, so Aqua is coming in here to Saint's base with a lot of Zerglings here. Not the best attack vector, though, and he actually attacks right into Saint's strong point. Saint's going to be able to hold that off with a few links to spare as a result. And Bisu, meanwhile, though, being chased back himself with his Dragoons here. Is he being chased back, though? He's stopped moving, so he's going to lose all of his Dragoons. And that was a little bit awkward. I'm not sure what we're watching here, ladies and gentlemen. There's now a single ling of Aqua killing drones here. He got one drone, almost got a second, it looks like. I'm kind of like confused because I'm like, am I watching like a sloppy game, or is this just like because it's 2v2 and their attention is divided in half twice? I'm not sure exactly what's going on here, but we do see a few things here. Again, it could just be, you know, 2006 people were not as quite as I don't know what's going on, but Bisu now with less Dragoons continues to have less Dragoons as he pumps out the same amount of Dragoons as his opponent, and now his opponent coming in here, Edgy pushing right into the base of Bisu. He's actually having to pull probes out here. He's got 3 gateways, but and so he is probably going to be able to hold this off for the moment. Oh, nice. Saint coming in for some probe kills and getting picked off with some Scourge. Both players just running Scourge around the map. This is kind of a bonkers situation where we've got all kinds of stuff going on in 4 different locations, or maybe even 8 if you count the expansions and other choke points around the map. Saint does have some Mutalisks out now. As we saw earlier, he was trying to go and do some harassment with that, but again, Aqua's going to go and try to do the counter as well, but just with 1 Muta. This is a little bit weird also, but you know what? If you got 1 Muta, you might as well use it instead of just having it sit around and wait for other Mutas, I guess. But again, very puzzling because, you know, normally in a ZVZ, you would think they would want to build up a group and move out with a group. But in any case, he is going to get chased away with that 1 Muta. In fact, chased to death. Scourge are coming in to try and retarget those Mutalisks that just killed off his own Muta, though. And it looks like he's going to try and micro a little bit away from this, but nope, he's not doing a very good job. He's going to lose some Mutas to those Scourge. This is 2006, and remember, Mutalisk clumping I don't think is a thing yet. This is early 2006. I think it was like mid 2006 when Mutalisks clumping kind of came into it, if I remember correctly. Could be 2005. Ugh, God, my memory is terrible today. I apologize. But either way, though, even once Mutalisk clumping was a thing, anti-Scourge micro with Mutalisks was actually something that wasn't really honed and refined until later on. Bisu has actually finally built up enough forces here that he's able to hold off a push by Edgy, and it looks like Edgy's going to get pushed down by some Mutalisks as well, I think, while Bisu gives chase with his Dragoons. A nice little combo attack there, actually, and Aqua being forced back to his base with Scourge as well. By Saint's Scourge, so not able to engage in that kind of trade back and forth there. There's that mineral patch, or set of mineral patches in the middle that you can see that would have to be mined out, but it's really difficult to mine those out because they're full mineral set patches, or maybe they're like partial. They might not be full 1500s or something like that, but they're not just like a thing where on some maps you put like, you know, 12 minerals there or whatever it is. So that, or I guess it wouldn't be 12, but I guess it might be 12, I don't know, but a few minerals so they can be mined out easily to open things up if necessary. It's a full set of minerals, so it's still going to be a divided air map basically for the foreseeable future, unless it goes to some sort of crazy super late game, which is not likely with this situation where each player has an enemy on their side of the map. Okay, so we got a nice combo coming in here. Bisu pushing up with a lot of Dragoons. We've got Mutalisks to help as well. And if they can get the first hit off and kill some Dragoons off very quickly before Aqua can come and rejoin the situation, Aqua might be just defending at home. I'm not sure where Aqua's mutas are. I do see a white speck on the minimap coming this way. It's going to be several seconds, though, before it can come in here, actually. But actually, there's some Corsairs coming in as well. That's actually Bisu's Corsair coming here to guard against the incoming Mutalisk, and there they come, incoming Mutalisk coming in, fighting. Edgy is actually forced to fight with probes here because he's got no Dragoons left. Bisu is pushing in, and now it's a Muta versus Muta battle on top of the Dragoons, but guess what? The Dragoons can fire upwards, and so it's actually not a very good situation at all. And despite the fact that it looked like Saint was kind of losing out on the early game, this nice combo attack by Saint and Bisu, going in and attacking Edgy together before Aqua could come and help out with the situation. All you need is a few seconds of 2v1 to get that unit advantage, and that's exactly what they did. They killed all of Edgy's Dragoons, and you know, I wonder if maybe he should have even fallen back and let the Nexus take in some hits or something. He needed to buy time for Aqua to come in and actually join the battle, but instead he's been fighting with probes, and so he's, you know, he's gonna maybe force this back right now, but he's lost all the probes that he's been fighting with, or a lot of them, and now they are gonna push back here. But again, if Bisu just continues to pump out Dragoons and they have the Dragoon advantage, it doesn't matter if Saint's falling behind a little bit on the Mutalisk War, because if the Dragoon War wins, then they'll still be able to finish it. But actually, Edgy pushing back here, has a few more Dragoons, and it's just, you know, the defender's advantage. They're closer to his rally point, so they're able to push in a little bit closer. And things may have stabilized here. I don't know if they've done enough counter damage. They have done some counter damage. They killed off a lot of Saints Mutas there. They killed off a few more of Bisu's Dragoons than were received in return. In that second fight there we just saw, where we saw Bisu and Saint kind of falling back. I don't know if it's quite enough to equalize the amount of probes that Edgy lost, though, in that earlier battle is the main thing there. We do have an expansion up for both Protoss players. I think Edgy actually got his expansion up earlier, so that's another thing actually to think about as well. He may have actually had more probes to begin with, and so perhaps he is has a little bit of advantage there. Bisu's expansion is going to be up in a moment, but it's you know, 2 base versus 1 base for the Protoss is a pretty good advantage, and I think that's why they were pushing in to try and punish him. It may have been why they had the forces to punish him as well. But again, it's hard to tell if the amount that he did, if the amount that the MBC team did to that probe count was enough to equalize the fact that he had 2 Nexuses and was producing a lot more. And oh, look at baby Bisu, so young back then. This is, again, you know, even a couple years before, you know, I started casting a lot of his games. And here we go. This might be a deciding battle here, ladies and gentlemen, because we have got a Zerg versus Zerg attack over on the side. Saint is pushing into Aqua's base while he and Bisu are pushing into Edgy's base. It's a 2-pronged attack, and both prongs are going straight into each of their opponent's hearts, ladies and gentlemen. Looks like they're going to take out this Nexus, and he's actually going and killing probes, sorry, drones rather, in Aqua's base as well. Wow, a double attack, and each of the 2 attacks has succeeded, ladies and gentlemen. He's even get one more spore colony there. Getting the spores not necessarily the best use of that time, actually. I don't think, well, maybe he's thinking, okay, I got a bunch of mutas, I can follow up with an attack after killing Edgy and go in, and yeah, look at this. Bisu's just gonna camp Dragoons on those gateways. Nothing else is gonna live. As soon as it pops out, it's gonna die. So it's basically just up to Aqua at this point to try and hold things off. And, you know, if they killed his drones, that might have been one thing. But right now, it's possible that Saint can just go across the map and then use his mutas now that there's only 1 spore colony left in the main, and try and finish him off. But he's sending Lings as well. Nice. He's going to send mutas into the main. He's going to send Lings into the natural. Bisu sending Dragoons into the main of Edgy. And there was The KTF team not looking too happy, I think, on the side there. I recognize that guy, but I don't remember his name. This has happened to me a lot lately, but I guess that's what happens when you spend, 8 years not watching these guys. You forget a few things, but at least they have good facial recognition. He's going in here and targeting the Spire now as well, which is going to completely cripple Aqua, and now going for the drones is going to be the death blow. There's the double GG for the 2v2 win. MBC game. Hero takes the third game in the series, ladies and gentlemen. They are now up 3-0. 3-0, ladies and gentlemen. In a finals, actually, they're doing just absolutely wrecking here. It was Shark. That's who I saw. It was Shark because I just looked to see what the next matchup was, and it's Shark versus Good Friend, and that was Shark that they showed for a moment. I was like, why do I recognize him? And now I remember his name. So Shark's going to be the next player, ladies and gentlemen. If he can take a game against Good Friend, he can win the series for MBC game, but Good Friend is extremely strong Terran of this earlier era. So, we'll see how that goes. But just a really interesting game. A cool little 2v2 where it's actually like 2 1v1s, but then they also played differently than they would normally would, and ended up being combined attacks as well. It's just really cool to see how there was all this attacking going on over at the left side of the map, and then in the meantime, Saint was like, tee-hee-hee, I'm gonna make some lings that you're not expecting, and while there was battles going on the left side, the lings were sent in on the right, starting the crippling process of the opponent Zerg. And anyways, so yeah, the KTF team is in the white jerseys. So when I saw the guy in the black jersey, he was looking very stern, but maybe it's because he was like, oh crap, I'm up next. I might be the deciding game for the playoffs for our team, and so maybe that's why he was looking a little bit stoic there. But I interpreted it as, oh, it must be a KTF team member who was looking concerned, but actually it was kind of a MBC game member who's looking maybe proud and concerned, or maybe there's just not enough pixels on these old VODs to know what the hell they're thinking. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for watching, and the next game up is going to be I'm not sure when it's going to be heading up here. I'm going to try and get a couple of these games out per week throughout the whole extent of this series, but the next game is going to be a really cool one. It's going to be Shark versus Good Friend. Looking forward to that. Hope you are as well. Thanks for watching. GG.